Dead Krogan, female. Tumors indicate experimentation. No restraint marks. Volunteer. Sterile, werelock, female.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite conversations in this mission. Right here, we stop, we pause over the. Keep the conversation rolling, Josh.
Okay.
But we pause over one of the test subjects who is a volunteer, and Morden sort of expresses regret over what happened to her. And Shepard can challenge him and say, wait a minute, you limited the population, you stopped all these Krogan from being born, and you're worried about one of them. And he sort of pushes back, and I think makes a good case. You don't ever see him, there's no conversation here that does the BioWare cheap shot, where somebody just says something to you that you can't answer back, like, oh, well, you're working for Cerberus, and then you don't have a comeback, even though there are 1,000 perfectly good comebacks for that. But this doesn't do any of that cheating. He makes his case, you make yours, and then the player's left to think about it. And I really, really admire that, and how this mission works.
That's one of the things I like about New Vegas.
Rest, young mother.
In any situation, like whenever you're getting somebody's perspective.
I didn't expect spirituality from
like, I was really surprised when I did see the Caesar's Legion missions. Like, cause I mean, obviously the Legion itself is not simple. They're slavers. You know, they treat their women like cattle. They commit all these horrible atrocities. But he does have a point, which is that the NCR, on the surface, seems kind of doomed. I mean, it's a sickly, often corrupt government that survives on a mode of civilization that really isn't suited to the wasteland.
Ethically difficult.
It'd be like trying to drag democracy into the Dark Ages. You know, you can't just, I mean, like, to Dark Ages Europe. You can't just, like, pick it up and drop it in there.
Caused this. Hard to see big picture.
Right, and I do like that when the game lets the characters speak for themselves and it's not afraid to advance controversial opinions.
Wheel of life.
And I think too often game designers just use all their characters like sock puppets, and you get that awful thing where, oh, you humans are so violent, and they're all judgmental because this is the writer just sharing his own musings on humanity with you, and it's so ham-fisted and terrible. And I love that the game is allowed to express ideas that divergent ideas, and even pit ideas against each other, and not have one of them definitively win, but leave it to the player.
And I think that's what makes it a video game. I think if you have characters that are stuck in one mindset and don't really change how they talk to other people, and you don't get to make decisions, then it's more just like playing a movie. You don't get to mold characters how you want them to be.
Yeah, it's just you're watching a movie, but you get to shoot people between the talkie scenes.
Right.
And this does not have that at all. You can steer this, you can say I'm really interested in this, or I don't care about this.
Now, this sort of brings me into an interesting idea, and one that I don't think Mass Effect explores as much as it should, but I feel like it would be very interesting if you get a bunch of different alien races who, you know, due to quirks of their evolution, of their circumstances, have very different concepts of morality, and ask them to, like, play nice together, so to speak. And like, and make war with one another, because like what one race considers an unforgivable war crime is just something that another race does to themselves routinely.
Right.
No, it doesn't. Worked with a
right. To one race's war crime is the other race's horseplay.
Doesn't matter.
So that really is the best conversation in the entire game.
Did you do the Paragon? You know,
I thought
I did the Paragon on that.
First Paragon choice I've done in this game that nobody told me to do. What the? Also,
I
my
remember
frame rate
going
is
through
halved
this.
for no reason.
But I remember being really gentle towards Morden because I really liked him and I understood where he was coming from, and I knew that he had been through a lot. So I would kind of question what he was doing, but in a sort of nice way, if that makes sense. And strangely enough, I think those were the renegade options.
Yeah.
You don't look so good.
That's some nice complexity there. It shows that renegade doesn't always mean just raging jackass. Renegade just means get the job done.
Right, I like the pragmatist versus idealist. I think that's so much more interesting than Miss Manners versus Space Jackass.
They're fixing the genophage.
Wow, so far it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite
the Paragon
moments.
Safe now. Just get back to your
the renegade option is to kick somebody in the balls, and the Paragon option is to ask permission first.
Don't you understand? They're curing the genophage.
I think this is a renegade option, or a renegade interrupt that's coming up, and you expect it to go one way, and it's really interesting how it plays out.
Why?
Okay, then I'll
This
take the time to
Krogan. Yeah, this Krogan has been shamed. He was used in medical testing. He was captured, and he's been kind of emasculated. And using the renegade option pushes him and kind of confronts him and makes him want to push back, makes him angry. Yeah, makes him angry, and it makes him want to be aggressive again. And it heals what's wrong with him. It wouldn't work on a Solarian. This is something that is
that I wouldn't have the points for that.
This is something that only would work on a Krogan, but for this, it's a healing move.
That's not true. I need to stay. They're gonna cure us all.
You're not a real Krogan. When a real
I also like his polka dot shirt.
Back up.
Yes.
I got back up every.
I think that's just their regular clothes when they're not wearing armor. They have that big grandma sweater up over their hump.
Little cardigan with a pouch for their knitting needles.
Nobody says that.
I like to think that they tie it around their neck. They've got some sleeves dangling there in front.
Go. Go.
I love this. This is one of my favorite parts in the entire game. Like, hands down.
Nicely done. Fortunately, subject is unlikely to...
I like how he roars and then saunters off.
Yeah,
like sort of genteel saunter.
And you
Onward,
can
Mosey to victory!
You say.
That was all four of us right there. Everyone take a shot. I know that. Alright, sorry. What was somebody going? What was everybody going to say?
I was making a joke about Mosey to victory.
I was talking about
actually wasn't
this shot could cause explosions.
Again! This is beautiful. We're gonna do an entire episode of everybody always talking. You know what? We should all mute each other and then just all talk through the episode.
I love it.
Oh hey!
No, actually,
now my frame rate is back up. What the hell?
I already have you guys muted. I've had you guys muted the whole show.
That's a lie. Oh, we can say whatever we want about Redscarn then. Redscarn is stupid, and I don't ever read his blog, and he has a stupid dumb face, and I hate him.
Mumbles, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think System Shock 2 did it that much better.
Since when have you become Seamus's apprentice?
Well, yeah, I am pretty awesome. I don't work out much. It's not a big thing, you know, just every other weekend. Get hit the gym, lift some weights. Got a spin class.
Why do I keep picking those?
You sounded badass until the spin class, so.
Yeah, you need to step it up. Maybe switch to Pilates.
Yes. My grandma does those. You can go do Pilates with my grandma.
I don't know what just happened
meet
there. I double
Mumbles.
charged somehow. That guy had like a Samus suit.
He really did. He was in there. He was in a shell of solid metal. Hey, recycled
like
hallway.
He's like the only Krogan I've seen who actually wore a helmet.
Like, I think
minute,
even the
this is an
refuse
important
in that
fact.
hallway was exactly where, on the, rewind the episode to the beginning, you'll see the hallway just like it. And I think even the refuse was posed in the same place. That was really, really obvious.
Oh man, this is my favorite part of the game.
Oh,
Love
White
sitting
knuckle
here-
excitement.
Man.
So this is the best part right here.
Malin, alive, unharmed. No signs of restraint, no
So
ability.
we get to the end.
Oh, that's
We
another,
get to the
that's another-
end,
never
and
mind.
we find Malin, Morden's apprentice. And we came here thinking that he'd been kidnapped and forced to devise a cure for the genophage, and we find out that he came here willingly and actually did it. He actually has come up with a cure for the genophage. Now, the game doesn't explain why he hasn't rolled it out yet. But he's got a bunch of research. Maybe they haven't tested it yet. But he's got a lot of work done in that direction. And so the two of them have this philosophical debate. I think Malon's is the weaker case here. He doesn't really make his case very well. He's like, well, I should cure the genophage because what we did is just as bad. Which, what we did in the past was wrong, so we can just keep doing wrong. It doesn't really follow. There's a lot of good cases you can make for what he's doing, but he doesn't make it very well.
Is this the same voice actor who did Karth's son and Roth Perrin?
Rosh Peenan.
Brosh Peenan? That's even worse. I think it is.
To find the cure for the genophage, he did all of these like terrible experiments. That's the problem Morden has with it, right? Where a lot of Krogans were just ripped open and all kinds of bad shit happened.
Yeah, he did medical testing on live subjects. Some of them kidnapped, some of them volunteers, but it was really rough stuff. It wasn't like they did proper testing on like animals or something first. They went right for which, you know what, you couldn't. Like, how could you do this? Wait, how did they test the genophage itself? You have to test your science before you deploy it to make sure it won't,
the point was that they did it with
everything.
simulation.
Oh, and he can't. Yeah, I suppose it's the future. You could simulate something like that. And here he didn't use simulation. He just did
Because he
it.
didn't have the resources to do it. All he had was a bunch of willing Krogans. Which says something about the Krogans, I think. It's sort of like, I'm infertile, so I'm willing to give up my life and be put through torture in order to save the entire race. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I mean, others were kidnapped, but the ones that volunteered.
All of these close-up on Shepard's eyes are kind of also drawing to my attention how much makeup default Shepard
Shutting
wears.
down more than that.
Yeah.
Face the truth, can you? Can't
That's a
admit
lot
that your
of
brilliant
eyeliner.
mind led you to commit an atrocity.
Unacceptable experiments.
And Morden
Good
punches him.
move. He's got a gun to your face.
Why
and you
is
punch
it
him,
that
and then you pull a
Morden's
gun?
the only person that can interrupt people? Also, I missed a paragraph.
Morden's renegade interrupt.
Apologies,
Whoops.
Commander. Misunderstood mission parameters.
Whoopsie!
My mistake. Thank you.
Oh, he could still be all. No. No, I think.
Disappointed.
I think
It's
we
like
lost this one.
where you get shot in the head and then you wake up and a doctor, repairs your face and sends you to take a poker chip.
You dealt with your issues by opening a medical clinic. He started experimenting on prisoners.
So that was it. You know what? If we did this entire mission again, I could find that much more to say about it because it's such an interesting debate to me. But I already, I'll link it in this episode's notes. I already wrote like 5,000 words on this part of the game, so I think everybody's sick to the point of vomiting about what I think of this.
I can go back and read that now. I didn't want to spoil the game. That ship has now
You
sailed.
regret what the Krogan have become. You see the horror of what they did here, but you see the loss too.
Wasted potential.
They don't deserve this.
So that is
Save the data.
the best thing, the best of anything in Mass Effect 2. This is the high point.
Done. Ready to go.
All
Ready to be
downhill from
off to
here.
Tuchanka. Anywhere else.
All
Maybe somewhere
downhill
sunny.
from here.
Let's get out of here.